Welcome to Late Night Near Jersey. I'm Alex Bond.
I'm Nicole Herview. So Fantastic Four, we just saw it.
This is going to be a very different review.
Well, we knew going in that it had an 8% on Rotten Tomatoes.
We're not doing the spoilers thing, by the way. We're going to go right into it.
No, we're gonna go bananas real quick.
And this is going to be the shortest review we've ever done, because I want to get this thing over with.
Oh my
Here's
God.
my feeling. I feel like
Okay.
they gave us half a movie, so I'm going to give them half a review.
Oh, okay.
I have a lot of problems with this goddamn movie.
I do too, but they might be different.
And leading into where this is going, I didn't want to be one of those people that hates the movie because it feels like a cash grab and feels like, oh, they just want to use the rights. And I didn't want to judge it based off the trailers, thinking like, oh, they're using a lot of visuals from these movies that I've watched. But that's all the movie is. It really is. That's all the movie stood for. I felt like there was a terrible reading of the characters. Yeah, we're just jumping right in here.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about the clunky introduction of our main villain, Doctor Doom, because I find him to be one of the more intriguing Marvel villains. Mm-hmm. He's very ideological. His whole thing is that he has a plan for the world, and he really does want to make it a better place. His methods of doing so have always been dubious, and that was what makes him a villain.
Right.
But all his ties to Latveria as that country make sense for the character. And here it was just a piece of paper that says he's from Latveria. And his whole thing here was, we're not worthy of the world, so...
He was kind of libertarian, but like a terrible version.
Latvian. He's Latvian.
You know exactly what I'm saying. But like a terrible version of a libertarian. Like really bad.
Good Lord.
Can we talk about neckbeard Dr. Von Doom?
It was just like...
He was literally just a neckbeard. Sorry.
That introductory scene when Dr. Storm shows up at his place to, kind of coax him out and bring him into the fold. Everything he was reading, everything he was saying, his whole thing about they're your employers, you're an employee, all I heard in my head was Randall from Clerks. And from that moment, I couldn't take him seriously.
I saw him playing video games.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is the guy. This is the guy that if there's a female player, he goes bananas and, threatens to rape them.
And this is like
that's this guy!
And the whole vision of, he's got 6 screens, and this one's got the news, and this one's got some weird, visual on it of a graph, and so he's smart. And this one he's playing video games because he shows he doesn't care. It was... and then...
It really made me really kind of hate him. I was like, wow, you made me hate him real quick, but
not in a way that makes him compelling as a villain, in a way that makes me not give a shit about him.
In a way that makes me just want to be like, ew.
And right off the bat, his mistrust of Reed was clunky, and then their moment, I'll call it a moment, at the end, when he says, you think you're better than me, which was never really
true
shown in the movie or demonstrated. It just shows him to be insecure, and then there's a little throwaway line of, this is not the future I imagined for us, Susan, so you're trying to create some kind of jealousy.
I mean, that was there the whole time.
Yeah, I know, but that was shoehorned in unnecessarily.
I was like, that was kind of a thing. In previous versions.
Well, I know, but it
didn't need to be
because
in this one.
The movie was what? So we got out at 12:30, and it started at 10:35, and so with previews.
2 hours.
So it comes in about an hour and a half, and it certainly feels like it. It's not one of those movies that's an hour and a half, and you're like, wow, I feel like I got a full experience there. This feels like an hour and a half of just, it's like.
I'll tell you exactly what it was. And I realized this in the last 20 minutes of the movie. I was like, wait a second, this isn't like a 3-hour movie. I'm sitting there like, this is all exposition.
It takes so long.
There's no movie.
It takes so long to get to your action, and then the action
shit
is just done in 10 minutes. You build for an hour 10 to your big fight scene, and your big fight scene is just, all right, they get him back. He escapes. They follow him, and then there's like no sense of team camaraderie and no sense of. There's that bullshit line of he's better than any of us. He's not better than all of us. Cut to black. Come back. He rises up out of his crevice that he's fallen into.
Yeah.
They do some sneaky crap, and then he's dead. That was it. There was no suspense. There was no payoff. There was no build-up.
Here's oh my god. Okay, I want to go through from the beginning. That teacher was the worst teacher that's ever teachered. I like when he's like, "You need a real job," and I'm like, "Science."
Yes, I know.
Science
right?
is a real job. What's your problem?
I know. Oh my
What is
god.
it? It's science. This is not like a dude being all artsy and stuff. It's literally science. Like, and if this kid was the teacher, this dude was the teacher, he would know that this kid is really good at science.
Yeah.
You're a teacher. You know this. And you'd be like, oh my God, like, keep going. Like, whatever you're doing, just be careful. But for the love of God, like, go. You can do it.
And
this guy's like, man, you need a real job. Meanwhile, the kid before is like, I want to be on the Giants.
First of all, he said, I want to be a quarterback like my hero since I've been 3 years old, Eli Manning.
And it's 2007.
And it's 2007. How young?
Time.
So
Time doesn't work.
So what? Reed Richards is supposed to be 18 in this movie.
Correct.
Jesus Christ. All right, my other problem with that scene in particular, is we see young Reed Richards and he's scribbling in a notebook, and it's just filled with formulas, and he's writing like between lines and ways that not even the most brilliant person can make sense of. It's not like a giant blackboard where he's got top to bottom of of formulas. He's just writing shit and scribbling it in between the lines. It's, oh my God.
It's so bad.
Oh, Lord.
I want to talk about Jamie Bell, because the dude who played Ben.
He played Ben Grimm for the when he was Ben Grimm, and then literally anybody could have played the Thing, because there was no sense of Jamie Bell.
I think it was his CGI, but
there was no sense of Jamie Bell in there, not even voice wise. They didn't even.
I'm sure it is him, but
in the first
could have made
movies,
anybody.
in the first movies, you knew it was Michael Chiklis the whole time.
God, yes,
totally Michael Chiklis. And in this, we could have had Jamie Bell for the first part, and I kind of liked him. Like, I liked him as Ben Grimm, but then you could have just had a Channing Tatum impersonation for the Thing, and it would have done just as well.
I have enjoyed Jamie Bell in such things as Billy Elliot.
Correct.
The music video for "Wake Me Up When September Ends" by Green Day.
That was him?
Don't even get me started. I cried at that video, and I was like, I will know everything this man has ever done. And it was Billy Elliot, and I was like, okay.
And then it was Jumper. Let's not talk about Jumper.
I didn't watch Jumper, because I knew. But I saw him in King Kong.
That's right. He was the kid.
And I remember in 7th grade, I had pictures of him in my locker. I was like, this guy is everything. Literally everything. I loved him. I think he is a phenomenal actor. And he showed up on the screen in this movie, and I said out loud, I love him.
I heard it.
So my question is, where were all of his lines?
Yeah, right?
He had 3 lines.
And then he was kind of a throwaway of like, all right.
Then he was just mad.
Hold on. So, they spend 7 years perfecting this teleportation technology together.
Right.
The Storms show up at the science fair and only recruit Reed and not your partner. I don't care that he's not, the most sciencey of guys. He's a rough and tumble. He was brought up, in a junkyard.
He can build things.
He can build crap. So why is Reed the one going in?
Why can Johnny Storm go weld?
Yeah.
But
so
he can't have Ben Grimm.
So they give Reed the scholarship, and maybe it's because Ben wasn't going to go to school. He wasn't, whatever
he
it was.
Didn't want to.
But
Maybe
they didn't.
He just didn't
but
want
they
to.
didn't
I don't know.
Explain any of that. So
No
they bring Reed along, and Reed just sends him selfies of, hey, look, we're doing the thing, and then it's time to go, and he says, oh, you know what? Let's call my buddy Ben. Let's get him in the fold here.
But let's not call Sue,
who's in the building.
Who's here? What is your problem? I was like, wait, why is it a boys' club of going to the 4th dimension?
See, I thought she was going to find her way in, and I was like, wait, where were they going to put a 5th pod? And I thought there was
Right?
going to be some shitty design of, like, this is how they fit 5 people in. And there wasn't that. And I was like, wait, so how did she get her powers? And it's just...
She was there when they came back.
That's just the explosion. The way they got their powers bothered me.
I actually liked that they made it like, okay, they were in different situations, so whatever.
Why were
As
there all these
opposed
rocks
to-
being thrown on top of him? Not in a way of, like, they're shooting in, just like there's two stagehands underneath, just
Throwing.
just shoveling things up. You know, like they're shooting baskets grandma style. Like they're just shoveling dirt on top of Jamie Bell for a day. That's how that felt to me.
I'm laughing because he just got up and did it.
but they give that a reason. Like, okay, that's how he becomes the thing.
That
They give-
kind of makes sense.
Fire comes into the, and
He
that's
goes on fire.
and that's how he
okay.
becomes Human Torch. And then
What the hell happened to Reed?
and then Reed just gets stretchy powers.
Which has always been stupid to
Just-
me. Like,
yeah.
so useless.
And the guy next to me chuckled in the fight scene when they're teaming up and
He just punches the dude, and you're like, wait, that would work?
So Ben throws this giant rock to him at Doom.
Yeah.
And the Human Torch Johnny throws a flame, and then
Nothing.
Sue does her invisibility thing, like makes Ben invisible as he sneaks up on him, and then Reed Richards throws a punch.
And it works.
Yeah.
In what universe? Literally in what universe?
Oh my god.
I know Miles Teller.
Personally?
No, I'm about to continue my thought. I know Miles Teller is supposed to be a good actor because of Whiplash.
I mean, he is a really good actor.
Not in this movie.
Not in this movie. They didn't give him anything to work with, but no, I didn't.
Literally, we were talking about it before we went in the movie. How one of the best directions you can give an actor is stop acting. Someone needed. I want to love Josh Trank. I do. I really do, but I don't. All Josh Trank needed to do was say, Miles, stop acting! And the movie would have been better. Maybe a little bit, kind of. But, oh my God.
And I was weirded out by the scruff.
His scruff when he's in Panama?
Well, he's in Panama, and he hasn't shaved.
Yeah, I
which
saw
is weird
that.
because he's got access to, like, shops. Like, you'd think he'd get, like, some kind of
He
rhythmic
can
razor.
shave.
So, he's got these weird little, like, spots,
Wisps.
He's, basically wisps. We'll call him that. And then they take him in, and he still has the wisps. And he's in custody, he still has the wisps. And they say, Sue comes in, talks to him, convinces him to join the team. And then they say, okay,
Which
you
I
ready?
was like, wait, is that
Yeah.
what just happened?
So they're like, okay, you ready? And he comes out onto the floor in the laboratory, and he's clean shaven.
When did he shave?
This is, and it's not even, I don't even want the answer. It's not like, how does Superman shave? Like, I want the answer to that question.
That I want to know.
I don't give a shit that he shaved. I don't know why they gave him wisps in the first place. And if you're going to give him wisps, let us all suffer through that while we're suffering through the rest of this movie.
I just, whatever.
I want to talk about all the movies it ripped off.
Well, we could do that. I'm going down the line of the characters.
Oh,
right
yeah,
now.
we can do that. Yeah.
So Jamie Bell, I covered. Miles Teller.
Okay.
I got you. Kate Mara was fine.
But she wasn't really given a lot to do.
She wasn't. I enjoyed the idea of the music and everything, whatever, and she's smart, cool. But she was almost, and I hate to say this, not her, but the character they wrote for her, kind of manic pixie dream girl. Oh, she doesn't want to talk to you. She's in her own little music world.
Oh,
blah,
yeah.
blah, blah. She's standoffish, but oh my God, isn't she great? Like, blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
Relax for 2 seconds. She's fine, but it was just a little bit of that, like, that idea that's like, she's almost a manic pixie dream girl, and it drove me a little bananas. But I think Kate Mara is wonderful. I
had
really
a problem
do.
with how they used her, though, just writing-wise. I had a problem with them
That
setting
she
that
wasn't
scene in a library.
The dimension.
Well, not just that, but they're in the library, and she says, I sense patterns. And then when Reed goes on the run, they're like, oh, yeah, we've been trying to track him. We get pings every now and then, but...
Pattern.
Oh, we can't find a pattern? I can do that. Like, what?
I mean,
It's very perplexing.
she.
And like,
but
oh, we got
patterns.
this.
That I kind of get that patterns are like her thing, and she sees things that other people don't. I get
But they
that.
don't do that then, because then they follow that scene up with, oh, there was a ping 3 months ago. We caught him using some line in Panama. And then 3 months have gone by, and he's still in Panama. You literally found him at the last place that you picked him up.
Yep. And it's because he was using Captain Nemo?
Yeah.
What?
I don't know.
That was such an offhanded comment. Why?
Yeah.
Why? But whatever. I don't know. Something about the character really bothered me. But only a little bit. Otherwise I was like, this is pretty cool. Like, you know, the white chick is the adopted one. Okay, I'm cool there. I'm with you.
I didn't even need an explanation for that.
I didn't really either.
I could have just been, all right, white mother, black father.
Well, I mean, they're clearly not mixed race.
I mean...
But, like, it could have been, you know...
I was willing to suspend that disbelief.
Previous marriage kind of thing.
It could have been that, too. Like,
they could have been stepbrother and sister. I have no idea.
That would have worked just fine.
I don't
But I don't
particularly care.
I don't care why she's white and he's black.
It was different. I mean...
I like the idea of them.
I would have enjoyed Miles Teller being black. Give me a really, really super smart black kid.
Oh, instead of
you know, the reckless...
I don't want to do what my father wants me to do, but hey, I'm really good with tools.
Yeah.
I got you. I see what you mean.
I'm not in a position to talk about race as a white person, but I don't understand why, you know, you couldn't have done that. You know what I mean? Like, you still played into stereotypes. No matter what you do there. I mean, Dr. Storm... the father is different. That's fine. You know what I mean? He's not your stereotypical, you know, what you often see portrayed in films and blah 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 as the black guy. But Johnny Storm,
I just don't think it matters. I just don't think that race should have even come up. We could have.
I didn't want another whitewash Fantastic Four.
Well, no. But I'm told I like Michael B. Jordan a lot.
I do like Michael B. Jordan. That's why I don't want to say anything bad about him. I like what he did with the character. It's fine, whatever.
Yeah, but I'm saying I didn't need an explanation for why. I just because and I liked their like interactions, as few and far between as they were.
Yeah.
I kind of liked that there was a sense of their, you know, two different sides of the brain and how they like have relationships with their father.
Yeah.
But they're both obviously, you know, brilliant and choose to use that in their own way. And and we could have had a little bit more of a sense of, you know, sibling closeness or sibling rivalry even. But I
didn't need to see sibling rivalry.
Give them credit. I did get the sense that they had, you know, spent their lives growing up together, and that's it. That I did get. That's really, even just the offhanded, like, nice to see you too, like, kind of thing. Like, that's something a brother and sister would totally, like, this is as close as we are going to get right now. Yeah.
Like, the end. Fine. Whatever. It is what it is.
All right.
Why was Dr. Allen always chewing gum?
I was
almost like, is this going to be a plot device?
No.
Is something gonna happen?
No, he's just... No, it's just to illustrate that he's the douchey...
He's just always chewing gum.
The government yes man.
Whatever.
That's it.
I want to get into the writing. Like, for like 2 seconds, because it doesn't deserve...
the writing is what I want to...
It doesn't deserve my time.
The dialogue... All right, here... I remember this line. This line I had a huge problem with. It makes no sense. It just shows, hey, we opened a science book. They're wheeling Dr. Doom through the lab, and somebody says his biochemistry is off the charts.
Yes! His biochemistry is off the charts.
What the fuck does that mean?
What does that mean? I was like, wait a minute. That is literally not English. Josh
I know it's
Trank,
English, it's just not coherent English.
I know. Josh Trank, Simon Kinberg, and Jeremy Slater are the people who wrote this movie, who are given writing credits. Josh Trank, from what I heard on Fat Man, I want to love him. I haven't seen Chronicle, but I've only heard very good things about Chronicle.
Chronicle was very good.
So I think this might be a fluke.
Yeah, well, I think...
That's what I'm thinking.
You gave the guy a big studio movie, and I just don't know if he could handle it. I think he needed...
Maybe that's what it is. He needed some more experience first. I don't know.
Because this is the difference between what, like, Kevin Feige is doing with the Marvel Cinematic Universe. He's giving... he's not giving big directors the films. He's giving directors who haven't, are still kind of cutting their teeth, but because he's the big brain, he's giving them the vision. This is run very differently. So this is this is a studio movie that doesn't have a vision. This is just this is a property that, comic book fans like, so we're going to make this movie.
Right.
Here's, this is probably, these are probably the beats they want you to hit.
Yeah.
And this will lead into why I think it's just a total mishmash of different movies.
Right.
There was the Incredible Hulk. Oh, we've been tracking him for a while. He's gone off the grid.
Yep.
There was the Prometheus. We found this new area.
Very Prometheus.
Yeah, but just in that one scene of dialogue of we could tap into the origin of humanity and find out where we came from, and then that was it. But that was like their reason for going to this other world. So that was Prometheus.
And then it was, the military powers afterwards.
Yep. Yeah,
which
there
was like, oh Christ!
Of every movie, the military wants to
what government
use
douchebags?
The government wants to militarize these powers. There was the Avengers giant blue beam going into the sky.
Yeah.
There was the Avengers 2 cute. I call it the cute cutaway of he wants to name the team, and Ben says this is really fantastic, and he's like, guys, I got it. And then title card, Fantastic Four.
That pissed me off so much. I was like, I just saw that and it worked.
It was so
because it was Captain America.
Yeah.
And it worked.
Yeah.
What you just did was literally awful. That whole scene didn't feel like camaraderie. It felt awkward and clunky and like no one wanted to be together. The timing was off.
It was one of those...
That could be editing. The timing was completely off.
But it was just one of those things that they wrote in as like, it's the cliched... Oh, we want to do a little self-referential thing of, oh, we need a name. Why do we need a name?
Why do we need a name? You don't. The media would give you a name.
Yes, and that's a commonly used device that I am fine with. Not this cutesy...
Because they do. Like, that's what they do.
Like, oh, get it, guys? Because it's a movie, and it's called Fantastic Four, and there's 4 of us, and here's how we arrived at that.
I just enjoyed that line that he's like, because we're a team and there's 4 of us, and blah. I'm like, if there were 5 of you, would you not want a name? If there were 3 of you, would you not want a name?
Yeah, I don't know.
If Victor didn't end up in like some void thing, like, I had so many questions about Victor's time in the 4th dimension. Can I ask a lot of questions?
How did he
Number one, how the hell did he survive for a year?
Yep.
I do not like the answer, the place kept me alive. Bullshit. That's not possible.
And there was
you
no,
need
like...
food. You need to eat.
That's where we needed exposition.
You need to shit.
I know.
No, dude. Absolutely not.
That's where we need an explanation for him, because he just comes back.
I want it so much.
I know. And he just says, like, it kept me alive. And he's come back after
home.
And I'm going back. And there was no, this is this is how I got pulled and this is how I survived. There's like, oh yeah, the suit mastered you, and now you have telekinesis and can explode people's brains.
My big question is, does time travel, like, is time spent differently over there? Like, I mean, I would assume not, because of the, when they were over there and Sue getting to the lab and blah, 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 like, she knew something was up, so she gets to the lab and then they come back, whatever. I'm assuming time does not pass that differently in the 2 dimensions. But that might have been an interesting device that, like, he was there for, like, actually, like, 10 minutes. You know what I mean? Like, he wasn't there for a year in his head. But it doesn't, I'm like, dude, if you gave me, like, a month, I might believe it. But a year? He's in that place for a year?
And you don't have a mouth.
And he's alive, and he doesn't have a mouth, and yet he's talking?
Yeah.
I understand, like, I just don't get it. I just didn't buy it. Whatever.
Total waste of a great villain.
I wrote down, literally, because this is the only thing I could think of, why is everything so extra? Like, the dialogue was just so cliched and, like, so dramatic. Literally everything was over-dramatic.
Yeah.
Every moment was over-dramatic.
And but then, it didn't feel over-dramatic. It felt like they wanted it to be, but I didn't believe anything. Like,
I didn't believe a damn thing.
I wasn't invested, and I wasn't like, oh yeah, no, this is what another dimension would look like. It was just like, this is a harsh landscape of things, and
Yes.
this looks like crap, and this is very
Zero.
obviously,
Put it at 0.
changed to green after the fact, and it's very
Yeah.
fluorescent, but it doesn't look natural. It doesn't look like they're interacting with any kind of environment.
Yeah.
It was
I don't
visually
know.
just
I
yeah,
don't
it was
know.
visually blown up, but bleh.
Oh. The way the relationship between Ben and
Reed.
thank you. I'm like stupid Miles Teller because that's all I saw. That relationship and how Ben was like, no, screw you. I was like, okay, I'm with you. I was like, what is Reed gonna do to earn Ben's trust back? And the answer is nothing. He did nothing.
He just walked
He
to the
was
same
just with
location.
He went with them. He came up with a plan because he's smart.
Yeah, there was no
Okay.
loyalty. There was no.
I still don't. I still don't trust him. I'll work with him. I don't trust him. And then at the end, they're kind of like, fine. Like, totally, like, they could stand next to each other and Ben's not punching him in the face.
I felt like in his
What?
mind, he kept having to say and explain, I want to change Ben back. I want to change, but he just had to keep saying it as if he's
Yeah.
trying to convince himself, like, yeah, this is why. Oh, look, I got a picture of us as kids. Can we go back to the kid thing? All right, so Miles Teller was in a pretty bad car accident. That's why he's got scars on his neck.
Yeah.
That was right as his acting career was taking off. And now I feel like every time they show him in a flashback, I feel like I saw something in Whiplash with it, but maybe it was just my mind. But they put a prosthetic scar over a kid's neck,
Yeah.
as if it's
They
a
put
defining
stuff on his face,
feature.
too.
Does it? It doesn't. Like, I have a problem with that.
I mean, it makes
Miles
sense
Teller's
to me
got
because...
scars. So what?
Yeah, I know. It kind of bothers me too, but I bought it in this case because if this kid is experimenting with like heavy machinery and like blah 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 blah, and he's in a freaking junkyard looking for a huge freaking power converter,
Which
or
he just
whatever he
happens
was
to
looking
have on
for,
hand. Thank you, Ben.
magic, and how is he gonna move that? How is he gonna transport it? How is he gonna sneak it out of whatever? Something's probably blown up in that kid's face. And the fact that he always says, don't blow up, kind of feel like something blew up in that kid's face. So I kind of bought it in this case. However, that is not something you need to do with not this poor dude, but with this dude constantly just because he has scars on his face. It's whatever.
Yeah.
All right,
let's wrap this up. I don't want to spend any more time on this movie.
Yeah, I do want to say that it looked fine. Except for once in a while, the CGI on Sue's face when she was in the, oh my god, force field was so bad. They used like CGI to her face, and it looked so bad.
I didn't think I thought the Thing looked bad.
Yeah, the thing didn't look.
He didn't look like
either.
he belonged in that environment. So here
I liked Michael Chiklis's look.
Yeah.
Better than this one, and that I never thought I'd ever say that in the history of ever. But
that was because that was by comparison, that was way more fun to watch.
Isn't that sad? Because I tried to watch the Fantastic Four, the OG one, the movie, obviously, like a year ago, and I was like, this was awful. I was
bad.
like, this is campy as hell.
But at least it's campy.
At least it's fun.
This was so.
At least you laugh a
broody.
little bit, like whatever. I mean, I laughed a couple times in this movie, but like, I just didn't want to.
I like how you said the visuals were fine because that scene where they first come out into the what do they call it? Earth Zero?
The fourth dimension / Earth Zero.
When they first come out and they kind of panning over it, I was thinking,
this could be better.
I was like, no, I was thinking this doesn't look too bad. And then they showed all the green stuff and they go down to ground level, and that's where it was like, oh, never mind.
Yeah, right? I was like, this
Nothing
is
looks
all right.
Nothing looks like it belongs. Everything looked like they need here's a plot device. Here's a whole bunch of green energy plot device.
Whatever, man.
All right.
I'm done.
Overall,
I'm mad.
fuck this movie.
I want my money back.
I'll never ask for my money back from a movie. I knew what I was getting into. But
That's true. We did know exactly what we were getting
fuck
into.
this
but
movie.
I will never see this movie again. I will not pay to see it. I will not give them any more money. I'm done.
I will not be going to the sequel. I will not be going to the
No.
X-Men Fantastic Four crossover that
Oh,
they want
I
to
will
happen.
probably do that because I like the X-Men.
Fuck this movie.
Yeah.
0 stars. This has been Alex Bond.
And Nicole Herview!
Reminding you always to wear your nerd jersey with pride, even in times like this.
Yeah. Wait, we're not done. We're so mad we're gonna keep going.
No, we're back. We two more things.
Can I go first?
You do yeah.
What the hell? It's clobbering time.
So, oh my god.
Who says those words not ironically anymore?
Ben Grimm's brother.
I didn't even catch that.
Oh no,
I didn't
yeah.
catch
So he's
that.
running through the junkyard, or no, he says some offhanded comment to his brother. He's like, "I got homework to do," and he says like "asshole" or something like that. Brother comes in the room and says, "All right, it's clobbering time." And
So then you used that
so
later?
then you remembered
I'm
that.
so
And it's like,
angry.
oh, and
I'm so angry about it because at least in the first iteration of Fantastic Four films, it was funny and like a joke, and they made
it was
like
like the action figure.
It's an action figure.
It's
Isn't that great?
clobbering time.
And it was fucking funny. And Flame On was completely useless.
Oh.
It's always been. But this was just like, wait, he just said it for we know you're gonna. We know you're about to light up.
That would be
Shut up.
like if in Batman vs Superman we heard Ben Affleck go. No, we heard somebody say to Ben Affleck, "Holy Toledo, Batman!"
It doesn't fit.
Right, it doesn't
fit anymore.
because
Stop.
Just because it was never no.
I mean, I'm sure they thought it was fan service, and people would be like, "Yeah," but all I heard were groans. Just
Mostly yours and mine.
yeah, we were really loud about it. You're like, "Come on!"
Oh my god! And I had a problem with the ventilation. He sneaks through ventilation like he's friggin' John McClane in Die Hard to get to Ben.
Go to the coast, have a few laughs.
You're a stretchy dude. You can stretch yourself real thin. It would have been cool to see him do some sneaking around through the hallways, dodging people with his power.
Yeah.
Because that's pretty much all he's good for with that power.
Yep.
Like sneaking through and being espionage and crap. Oh, God.
Use your heroes better. Jesus Christ.
All right, I think I'm done now.
All right, now I'm done.
I gotta go home.
For Nerd Jersey, this has been Nicole Herview.
This is Alex Bond.
And we're actually done now. And we're reminding you always to wear your nerd jersey with pride. Did I say that?
Yet again. We said it the first time.
I can't even say things anymore. I'm so mad. Okay,
Just
good night.
cut it. The end.